If you're wondering if I forgot, the answer is yes. What's up, guys? Thank you for the Bunsen here, and here we are to do a quick little breakdown and specifically review of chapters 4 and 5 of Shinobi Undercover. Here's the thing. It's not fully my fault. Because I literally had a whole bulk recording session where I got all the Shonen Jump drops on there, but I swear I didn't see Shinobi Undercover. And like that's how my brain works when I go to do bulk recording. I'm like, okay, it's a certain day, everything should be live, perfect. I should hop in, be able to grab it, and go. So for some reason, my brain glitched, and then someone commented it. I was like, oh, sweet mother of mercy, I actually forgot. So I had to quickly read the 2 chapters. I'm going to slap this 2 review together. I will add it consistently now. I'm just going to make a list. I'm just going to set a reminder. You know what? In fact, I do have a reminder built in for every single time the chapter drops. But okay, let's not waste any more time. Let's hop raw into it. Ending me. You ready? 3, 2, 1, go. What's up, guys? Like with a pencil here. Fun fact. I do to have it on me. And keep it on me at all times. And a little fun fact, this manga is getting interesting. If in a way that I wasn't expecting it to go. And you may be wondering, Pennsylvania, what in the world does that actually mean? What are you speaking of? And it's specifically in its consistency of its mystery and the sidecasts it's developing and the possibilities of antagonists evolving already. So, first things first, you're wondering, Pennsylvania, what in the world are you talking about? So when I was initially reading this chapter, because I was like, I gotta catch up. I can't do. I was gonna do a 4 and 5 review, but like I already know. I think sometimes. I don't think all the time in regards to the channel, but I think sometimes. And I know certain things. Like I know certain things about this video. So like, trust me, I know. But with that being the case, I was very specifically like brain just kind of half off when I was reading. So I read this entire chapter, which is known as The Joy of Clubs. I was like, okay, we're probably gonna get some sort of twist, but like I wasn't really expecting much. Once again, I was kind of expecting more world building, and once again, sort of doubling down on what the previously chapters had established, maybe expanding the friend group a little bit more, and that's exactly what I thought, because my guard was down. And as we read through this entire chapter, we get introduced to this concept, not only the concept of fugitive, that should have tipped me off. You know, this is why I tell you, my brain is not the biggest. In fact, it may be quite small, because the moment this concept was introduced, my brain should have immediately clicked, because we find out really early on in the chapter, in fact, by page 3, who's the assignment after? Who's after the assignment anyway? It's confidential. Even in the ninja world, there are some who have sold the information to the enemy, or disappeared in the middle of a mission. We call them fugitive ninja. We have no idea who might defect and when. That should have immediately clicked something in my head, but it didn't. So when we got introduced to this character, I was like, oh, neat! New guy! And I actually kind of like his personality. Once again, I'm also the kind of person who kind of goes like all in for anything. If you couldn't tell, like, I don't know, I just be doing things. Like, I recently started going to the gym. I go every single day. I know that's not healthy, but I do it. Just because, like, I know if I don't go, I'll stop. So, like, I need to do everything. I post every day, twice a day, because, like, I need to. I'm itching. I'm scratching. I'm basically addicted, supposedly at this point. I'm addicted to the app, so that's why I do it. So when I met this guy, Miyake, who seems to be just a guy like me, going in for everything, in spite of everything, even if, like, he physically does not have the bandwidth to do so, I was like, oh, cool. A guy just like me, for real. So we covered Miyake, and we specifically see that he's in a specific type of club, specifically the soccer club, and naturally we're sort of continuing this theme that while there are characters in the universe that are actively trying to slaughter the assignment, Yodaka's charge... Wait, what's her name? I keep forgetting. Whatever her name is. I'm sorry, I'm completely forgetting. This is what happens when I'm new to a manga. My brain is just completely lacking. But essentially, the assignment gets in this whole scenario with this soccer group over the fact that Miyake is relatively being by the soccer group. And that sort of shows the 2 sides of the story we're going to have. We're going to have the built-in universe mechanics, and by built-in universe, I mean like the built-in universe of the ninja side of the world. It's obviously called Shinobi Undercover, aka we're going to be having basic Shinobi antagonists, which are going to be someone like you know who. And then also we're going to be having the school antagonists. I thought the upperclassmen bullying the underclassmen was kind of be like a one-off thing, like a one-time thing. If anything, I thought we were going to see more development into that. But no, quite the opposite. We're consistently building up this narrative that ultimately not only is Yodaka an underdog in terms of how he's dealing with these situations, but also on top of that, you know, he's like fully in school. And of course, well, personally, I was luckily large enough to never have to get bullied ever. Like, I don't know, people knew better when it came to deal with me. I know bullying is a thing, especially from underclassmen or upperclassmen to underclassmen. So we actually do have that side of the narrative too, which does sort of 100% seem to lock the school as like the main plot of the narrative. But once again, with the early branching out to the karaoke, I do think they're genuinely going to be more than just regular school activities, and we're already burning through a bunch. Once again, this chapter sort of covers the sports and club angle in one. Once again, I have no idea what school is like in Japan, but typically you could separate the clubs and then the sports into two separate things, but we already merged them into one by having the soccer club, and we have this crew here to basically establish the soccer club. But then again, they immediately quit it by the end of this chapter. So I don't know. Once again, we're in an interesting spot with this manga. This is one where my brain is kind of clicking and wondering, okay, what's the longevity of something like this? Especially for like Shonen Jump, my brain immediately leaps to long-running manga. You know, your Bleaches, your Naruto, your One Piece, even like new gen manga, which typically run shorter than like all old gen manga do, or even old. It's weird to call. Is it really time to call Bleach and Naruto and One Piece old gen? If we're calling them new gen, but then again, I suppose like we'll just call the big three era of manga. Typically, they're all long. Like legit, I think the only all three of the big three are longer than any, even the longest running new gen manga currently, which I believe is MHA, which ended recently. So, like, I'm really wondering about the longevity of this series because we're leaping through a bunch of concepts already. Though, admittedly, this chapter does introduce the concept of fugitive ninja and then doubles down on it. We see Miyake ultimately, fumble the bag a little bit. And by fumble the bag, it essentially forces Yodaka to, lock in a little bit. And Yodaka asks for permission to lock in a little bit. And he pitches something at Mach 50. And it hits the ball, and it goes straight into the goal. And we see that ultimately Yodaka, once again, using his very superior physical abilities, once again, so far, I do genuinely think he may be the strongest in the verse. Like, it depends on Miyake, as we'll find out. But I think so far, he may just be, not only has he been set up to be the best of his current age group of ninjas, so obviously they're probably going to be adult ninjas, that's probably how we're going to evolve it next. But, like, so far, this man seems basically unstoppable, because essentially, he took a piece of candy and pitched it hard enough to make the soccer ball move at light speed. Obviously not light speed, but still, like, how does one do that? How does one manage that physically? And so far, we do have like powerhouse characters introduced, specifically Hibari, who we're going to see more in next chapter. But like, wow. The physical strength is immaculate. However, this is very interesting because once again, it goes to show his strengths in terms of his like actual physical strength and his willingness to do things for his friends or people who he feels bad for. But at the same time, it does show one of his weaknesses, as we see by the end with the Miyake reveal. Now, like I said, this did immediately take a sledgehammer straight to my ankles because my guard was completely down. My brain was not on when I was reading. I read Fugitive Ninja and I was like, oh, cool idea. Cool story, bro. Can't wait for that concept to be actually readily introduced and used in the narrative, only for it to be immediately readily introduced into the narrative with Miyake. As we see that after they separate, specifically after her name is gone. Let's see. After she decides to quit the soccer club, both Yodaka and the assignment. I feel bad calling her the assignment. I need to find her name. But essentially, they both leave the soccer club immediately because their whole goal was to help Miyake, and Miyake hops on the phone with somebody and says, "Oh, hello. Thank you for the help. Yes, there really was a ninja. Public safety must be involved. That explains all the failures. But he's the bottom of the barrel. I had no trouble approaching them, and he was full of openings. Please, just leave it to me. Ninja slaying is a fugitive ninja specialty. We can kidnap the girl later." So, yeah, Miyake's a rogue ninja. Once again, I don't know why it didn't click. The moment they should have said it, that was a layup, and clearly the author was like, okay, they'll catch this. I did not catch it, my ankles, shit! But, hey, I'm cool with introducing the concept so early and immediately flushing it out, and I'm interested to see how long Miyake lasts. Considering our first, antagonist who was not part of the school setting was just that random teacher, who technically was part of the school setting by faking to be a teacher, but he came in and got one-tapped, and next chapter sort of elaborates on Miyake's power as an individual. And notably, he is straight about the business, because we open up the Chapter 5 with him saying, there are 3 ninja in the class protecting Al Mukai. I'm saying it so many times fast, I'm getting it back. I'm saying Kumai or whatever. But Mukai. Mukai is the assignment. And very specifically, he opens up Chapter 5 being like, there are 3 ninja in class protecting Al Mukai. After I picked them off one by one, of all the time in the world to kidnap the target. Yes, perfect weather. The best kind of day for an assassination. So he's moving devious. He's moving devious immediately. And I'll admit, I was not expecting that. Once again, I'll admit, the manga broke my ankles fully, one with the Mukai reveal. Or not the Mukai reveal. Mukai is the girl. I'm Mukai. But with the Miyake reveal, for one. And two, his motion. Obviously, he didn't go active last chapter. It's clear he was still scouting last chapter. But the fact that Odaka didn't pick that up goes to show his weaknesses. Now, he can still evolve as a character. In spite of him being the strongest of his age group, clearly he's missing certain things. And we'll see this pattern continue with Heated Body, specifically as this chapter covers her. And her really, I'll admit, interesting interactions with Miyake. Now, you may be wondering, well, why are we following this character? She's not a main one. But I do think she is actually going to end up being part of the main... It's hard to call it a trio, because there's the other guy, whose name I do forget. But Hibari essentially comes to connect with Yodaka and be like, I suck at being a regular human being, or like an actual real one. And I need to get closer to the assignment, Amukai. So how you doing, little bro? And we see the struggle that she has. Now, I do kind of get this, though admittedly, I never had it socially with people of my age group, though admittedly it did take me a little bit to learn it. But I've always been more comfortable with people older than me, even whenever I was younger. Like, once again, just because of how I was raised, respecting and communicating with people who are much older than me or in a much higher position of power never personally bothered me. And thusly, I can turn on whatever natural personality that is appealing to someone older than me if I'm trying to communicate with them. I can be respectful, I can be polite. I typically am respectful and polite simply because of how I was raised. So I get that, but Hibari has a more specific issue where ultimately she's able to build connection, but she's not necessarily able to build organic connection. As she says, Yodaka, I need you to teach me how to connect with other people. And Yodaka naturally is like, have you lost your mind? As, of course, he struggles connecting with people. And she says, but you're a natural. And we find out, at least according to the coordinator, once again, I think is going to be not necessarily a twist villain, but I think the reveal of the coordinator is going to be interesting. As they say, in other words, since Amukai is your one and only friend, you have the best personal relationship as a ninja. There's no way. Oh, well, first he says, ninja who go undercover may excel in infiltration. However, even the best of ninja can only keep up superficial relationships. And that's a big thing, right? It's hard to, connect with people, especially when you're forcefully trying to connect them. Now, I do know people who are just like that for overall, like they're just built like that, and they can automatically communicate with anybody on the fly and build that super deep connection very, very quickly. I've seen it. It is somewhat terrifying because I know it's all automatic, but it sometimes feels like direct manipulation. Like they be building ties so fast. I'm like, something ain't right. that do be happening to me. But I do get it, right? It's hard to do that, especially not even just for the infiltration sake, but genuinely making friends. It's a hard thing to do because ultimately it all is a give and take. It's an exchange. You gotta be willing to offer up portions of you that they're like, oh, that's a portion that I'm willing to take. Now let me reach into myself and give you a portion back. It's always a law of equivalent exchange, but of course, considering this isn't Fullmetal Alchemist, we do not operate under the law of equivalent exchange. We only under English. We only operate under the law of what we're willing to exchange. Kind of like how you don't always get your value for what money you put out, or whenever you trade something, you don't always get something of equal value. You know what I'm talking about? And did he make my line? What the? I'm only noticing this now because I'm like, what the heck? Oh man, is that me? No, that my cut is literally. Why? I trusted you. No way. Is it actually on a slant? It looks like it's on a slant. No, it's literally on a slant. What the heck? I'm gonna go fist fight my barber. Why? I'm just noticing this now. This is gonna ruin me. Oh, why is it like that? Why is it like that? Why did I not notice that until now? Of course, when I look into the camera, bro. But regardless, sorry, completely sidetracked. But ultimately, that's what Hibari's looking for. And very specifically, remember, the main reason she's doing this is not even because she really wants to make friends. It's because she specifically has a role, which is to be the best friend of Amukai, so she can protect Amukai for the assignment. But ultimately, she's really struggling with that because seemingly enough, Ao can see right through her, right? And I also know people like that who can tell when someone's trying to get to know them and they'll just put up super thick walls. Legitimately, I've seen people stonewall whole conversations in attempted communication simply because they can tell that the person wants something out of them. It's impressive how they're able to do it because simply they never sound mean about it. Notably, I'll be honest with somebody if I don't want to communicate. I'll be like, hey, not right now. I'll just be honest. I'll be direct. But no, they'll be so polite about their disinterest that it's kind of scary. But that being the case, ultimately Hibari does essentially try to copy what Yodaka does entirely. entirely, which ultimately doesn't work as it contradicts her established personality to the point where other people are worried about her, considering, maybe she thinks all the relationships are superficial, but they do know what they think is her, and thusly they are concerned when she starts acting extremely weird, just like Yodaka. And ultimately Yodaka's like, what you want from me? And very specifically, you can tell the ability of Mukai specifically to tell the difference between what is real and what is fake. And thusly, while she can tell that Yodaka is just genuinely socially awkward, she knows Hibari's just better than that, and thusly does not seem to fall for it. But of course, while we see Hibari struggling with this entire concept, and a friend that she made that she feels like isn't genuine is watching over her, a certain individual comes up and is like, hey, let's run it. As we see that Hibari realizes, oh, the door she's in, it's locked. Oh, sorry. I was on duty today, but I completely forgot to submit those. I just got the key. Oh, okay. Where do I put these? And she hears that as immediately this man, Miyake, swings. Like, I'll admit, the art style of this manga is clean, and the combat is real clean too. The force of that swing is so much that Hibari, so far, who's been shown to be a relatively physical combatant, of course, this isn't like a series with a power system, so we're not going to see like special attackers and physical attackers, but still, he like slams her on one hit with like seemingly no run up or anything, just straight motion, as he says, oh wow, you were on your guard, or your reflex is just that good. And we see that Hibari should have admits both her and Yodaka got duped. So while Hibari's good and Yodaka's also good, and seemingly the third guy, whose name I forget, is also good, none of them were good enough to actually notice Miyake, which goes to show that there are levels to this, and obviously, considering Miyake's our first fusion ninja introduced, it's only going to get harder from here, which is going to be interesting to see. And notably, I'll give credit to Hibari. She does manage to take a pretty decent amount of damage. Not only does she basically lose her arm on that first hit, as she says, oh, my left arm's busted. I gotta get out of here. I'll let the other ninja deal with him. So, clearly, she ain't built like that for real. She does, like, dodge, get grazed, and keep fighting, which is impressive. Notably, when most people would break their arm, they'd give up. Especially if it came off one hit. So, the fact that she's able to keep fighting is interesting, and it does set up an interesting battle between Miyake and Yodaka, because presumably when she says other ninja, she very specifically does mean Yodaka. I highly doubt she's gonna go run to get the other guy. But then again, she does say other ninja, so it could be both of them. As we see that the girl from before runs in and is very much concerned for her safety, as naturally she knows Ninja Protocol, and unfortunately Miyake knows Ninja Protocol, as he says, oh geez, I picked this place because nobody comes here. Now I have another mess to clean up. And then he pulls out, I don't know, Wolverine claws? I don't even know what these are, but he yanks those bad boys out, throws them, and yeah, Hibari gets got. So we see that she comes in and takes the block. Very specific with her left arm, though. So I hate to say it, low-key resource saving, since her left arm's already broken and she can't use it properly. She raises it up to block the spear, or the stabber dabber, that goes straight into her arm. And we see that she immediately knocks out her friend once again, which I do think is nice. It goes to show that even though she's struggling to make like an actual direct connection with her target, with Al Mukai, she is at least like succeeding in some sort of aspects. Her popular girl facade is working out to some degree, but of course this is likely going to be very bad, as like just knocking somebody out does not immediately wipe their memory. So unless there's a device introduced in this universe, kind of like the Men in Black, I forget what it's called, the memory eraser. It's a memory eraser, but I forget, it has a specific name. But unless something like that gets introduced, like she saw that, and she's gonna remember that. Like she's not gonna straight up forget that. In fact, she's probably gonna remember you chopping her in the neck. As we see, Miyake's like, huh? You should have just left her. What's wrong with you? And what's wrong with my hairline? Why is it crooked? Why? Like, how did he do that? How did I not notice that? Why did I hate that I'm seeing it, and I'm not gonna get it fixed for like a week. That bothers me so much. I'm so mad. That's gonna bother me so much. I can't look at myself. I'm not gonna look at myself in these videos. Now I'm gonna sit all the way back, because I can't tell from all the way back here. If I ever get close to the camera, I'm gonna freak me. But ultimately, we see that Hibari realizes that she ain't really getting no reinforcements. Now, she gotta take them glasses off and lock in. And she goes, tell you what, I'll take you on with just one arm. That'll make things more interesting. And Miyake's like, oh wow, you seriously think we're on the same playing field? And clearly, Miyake is stronger. So the real question is, how is Hibari going to get help from Yodaka and the other guy? Whoa, why did you glitch like that? But how is Hibari going to get help from Yodaka and the other guy? I do feel bad for Hibari. It feels like she got singled out first by pure chance. And obviously, I do get it. We sort of do need to build to Yodaka, especially considering he's already confirmed to be the strongest other unit. But still, I don't know. Obviously, I think it's a little bit too early to be offing characters. The main character I'm interested to see last beyond this point and beyond this little, I suppose, miniature arc or this conflict section is Miyake. Will he be removed immediately like the teacher was, or will he become an actual part of the school if he gets beaten? He's gonna get beaten. He's not gonna, no way we're actually kidnapping Mukai this quickly. So, like, I don't know. But overall, and let me hit it for the 2-time, because these are 2 worthy chapters, especially last one. I'll admit, I do kind of like last one more, mainly because it broke my ankles, but this is a set of 2 worthy chapters. If you made it all the way to the end of this video, all 2 of you, one of you, I saw one person comment. So for the person who commented and mentioned it and reminded me, thank you, because I genuinely forgot. But with it being the case, if you made it all the way to the end of this video, please leave glasses off. Or just in case someone mentions it in the comment, I doubt it, but leave off glasses in the comment section down below. I'd like to thank you so much for watching. Please remember to leave a like, share, comment, and subscribe. Make sure you hit that notification so you don't miss out on every video that comes to the channel. Also, you happen to have a Patreon below where you support me for as low as $1 a month. Things like exclusive videos, early content, and more. You also now become a member of the channel for as low as $3 month. They did it again to get the same perks and more. Those perks will include the live reactions, so the series I happen to review, and free variations of all my videos. And if you become a $25 patron or a $25 member, you can order whatever video you want. Also, I do have a link to my Ko-Fi in the description down below. You drop 5 beans for a short video, 25 beans for a long video, or any beans at all. Any support is always greatly appreciated. Now, I'd like to thank you so much for watching once again, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. This is That Guy with a Pencil, writing off. I'd like to give a thank you to our $3 members: Zara, Greyhound, Eternal Flame, NMA, Real Rare, Red Wolf 4765, Astro, Brandon Payne, G Prosper, and Glacier XZ. And I'd like to give a thank you to our $5 patrons: Midnight Lord 21, Kevin Encarnacion, Sean, Igneel Lind, and A+A. And I'd like to give a thank you to our $7 members, Fine and Austin Wimberly, A Uchiha, along with Yuki Ally. And I'd like to give a big ol' thank you to our $10 members, Robbie Uchiha, Jay Warrior, and AZ Void. And I'd like to give a thank you to our $10 patrons, Overlord Zero, Joaquin Munoz, and Idem Okami. And I'd like to give a final, giga, legendary, superhuman, beyond the bounds of reality thank you to our That Guy with a Pencil tier patron, Calvin Elder.